Hello everyone! Today we're gonna have some more fun. Okay, so we are going to do some detached chain stitch or lazy daisies and the berry stitch. So let's move that stuff out of the way. Let's get started. All right, so we are going to do one flower here. I like 5 petals, but feel free to do something different if you want to do 6 or 4 or 3 or something. Okay, I know people are feeling nervous about what's left in their thread. This is all I have left. I did not realize how much thread we would be using. I thought that 1 skein would be enough, so I apologize. If you are running low, do this with 3 strands instead of 6. And then we can use the other 3 another day. I'm not feeling super concerned yet, so I'm gonna use 6. But if you are nervous, please feel free to use less. All right, so this is going to be similar to our chain stitch, but in a flower way instead of a linked way. So what we're gonna do is start down in the bottom and create a chain like we did for the outline of our pumpkin. So we're just gonna come up here, and then just like we did on the ends of our chains is we're just gonna go down just on the other side of that loop and just tack that down. Just like you did on the end of your chain stitch. And then that's it. And then we're gonna come and do the next one. So we're gonna come down here. You can go up and down in the same hole or right next to each other. Just be careful of that knot. These are some of my favorite, just like little tiny flowers. That are just fun to add to everything. All right, almost done. Now, on this flower, I like to do a French knot center. So I'm not teaching you French knots yet. So if you know how to do French knots, you can go ahead and just finish this flower and do your French knot in the center. If you don't know how, then I will show you another day. So don't feel like stressed about it if you don't know how yet. But there's our little flower, and then we will do the French knot in the center. But I'm going to teach that another day, so I am leaving that for now. Okay? All right, so that is a lazy daisy using a detached chain stitch. So a berry stitch is very, very similar. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a little stem here and do a couple little stitches with it. All right, so when if I'm doing like a stem with some leaves like this, usually I'll do detached chain stitches like this, but we're learning new things. So what we're gonna do is I like to start at the top of the stem, and then we will work our way up with the leaves. Okay, so we're gonna do this, and then when we do our leaves, when we start our leaves, they're gonna start in this hole here. So what I'm gonna do is go back in this hole to finish my stem. Instead of like a traditional back stitch, I'm going to do a forward stitch there so that I can come back up here and do this berry stitch. So with a berry stitch, we are going to do a detached chain stitch, but instead of coming down just on the other side of this stitch, we're gonna give it some space. We're gonna come up like right here, so that has like a longer stitch right there. And then we're gonna come through and do a second like chain stitch, but we're gonna loop it through here and keep it kind of loose, because then we're gonna come down over here and we want that to sit on the outside of that inner stitch. So then you only have one loop, but you have like one loop to tack them down, but you have two loops inside of it to kind of fill that space. So let's come over here and do that again. So we're gonna come up here, and then we're gonna give it some space and come down there. And then weave that through. Oh, I was talking to somebody yesterday and they were struggling with weaving and having it get caught on things. If you're struggling with that, you can use the eye of your needle to weave. I don't love doing that because I feel like things get so twisted so quickly, but if you have kind of a tricky spot, that may be an option for you. See, but then I feel like my needle's like being held funny. Anyways. So I'm holding on to that stitch while I pull my needle because I don't want it to pull that too tight. I want to keep it nice and loose. Fun, just kind of a little extra fun for that detached chain stitch, little lazy daisy look. Okay, so I'm gonna come up here and down here. And then I'm gonna get my next piece of thread. Well, I could probably do one more. Okay, hold on. Back down. There, got one more out of it. Okay, so when I have a small piece like this, I just go ahead and separate like half the strands and tie a knot. I don't want to pull it too tight because it'll pull that thread in the front tighter, and I want it to stay semi-loose, so just be gentle with how tight you're pulling that thread. All right, so I just have one little leaf left, and I think I have a little, nope, that's the brown. All right. Hold on, I'm gonna get some more of this out. Ah, no, I'm not. That has a big knot. I'm not gonna deal with that. I'm just gonna use some of my brown because it's super similar in color. So I'm just gonna try and stitch with the colors that are in this other one. So this is the 4135, but I don't want to get out a new piece of thread. So this brown is super similar. So I'm going to tie my knot right here. So then I can cut off like this red and dark brown. And just go ahead and use this because it will be very, very close to the same color. And then I don't have to get out a new piece of the 4130. It is a little darker brown. That's okay. Okay, there we go. Our cute little stitches. All right, should we move to the center and use our knowledge? Okay, so I was looking at the pattern and I just realized that we never outlined these ones. So I am going to tell you to use whatever stitch you enjoyed the most. Chain stitch or reverse chain stitch, stem stitch, split stitch, for just outlining these petals. I will stay on today and do some. I think I'm going to use, I don't know. Do you guys want to vote? Do we want to vote what we're going to use? Or what you want to see me do? The centers are going to be the berry. So when I was testing the pattern, I did a chain stitch or a split stitch. I don't remember. But one or the other I did as the outline. So I'm going to do the centers first. And then if anyone wants to pipe in and say what stitch they want to see me do on the edge of these. Oh, that's going to bug me. Pulled some of this knot through it. Split or chain, okay? So another thing, if we're not going down in this same hole, we can go over a little bit. Okay, so we're doing the center one first. Hold on, let me start over. Does anyone want to pick one or the other, chain or split stitch? Okay, so we're gonna start kind of in the center. I want this to fill the space a little bit more. So instead of going down in this same hole, I'm gonna come over a little bit. This will just give our stitch a little bit more room to kind of fluff out a little. See how it's more of a U instead of like suggestion stem. Sunny suggested stem. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, I wasn't keeping up with messages there. We could do a stem stitch. Any of them work. I feel like the only reason I feel like we did like some people have already done stem stitch like around the centers, is my only reason why I might not do that, because I feel like we've done that quite a lot. But we also did a lot of chain stitch. Oh my gosh, this hair is like stuck in there. There we go. Okay. I'm leaning towards split stitch. So you could even make these wider and do a third, especially if you make your tails as long as I did. Split would be neat too. Forgot how much stem stitch there was. Yeah, I mean, not everyone's has a lot, but we also have this greenery. Which we could use stem stitch on as well. Whoop, I almost pulled my thread out of my needle. Okay. There is our insides. I'm gonna do a split stitch. So I already have my 6 strands in here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and go for it. So split stitch was what we did on the green stem. So we're doing a stitch and then we're coming up inside that stitch and splitting those apart. And then going down. And then we're just doing that over and over and over. So you could also do a back stitch and split going down. I feel like it looks slightly different and I prefer going up. So you do have an option to go down or up. I personally prefer to go up in my stitches instead of down. But I know some people do it the other way, so do whatever you prefer. Oh, that was a little stitch. These other ones were a little bit bigger. So I'm just going to do this until I run out of thread, and then I will leave you to do that as homework. And then I think, let me see what's on the list tomorrow. Hold on. Tomorrow's the woven wagon wheel and the bullion stitch. So we can do the greenery tomorrow. So if you want to keep them the same, you could do more couching. I think I am going to do a stem stitch on it. Which you could also, I mean, you could do that today as well, if you wanted to. I just forgot about, I don't know why I forgot about this side. Right. Do you want to watch me stitch the rest of those? It's only been 20 minutes. So if you don't want to watch that, feel free to leave. I'll just stay on because I'm already here and I may as well. So I have just 3 strands sitting here. So I'm just going to double those over and have 6. But then things will look different. I forget about this variegated thread. That's okay. If you double over your thread with variegated thread, it's going to look different than if you just have 6 strands, which I think is fine. I kind of think these look similar to a chain stitch, like a messy chain stitch. But I think they're fun. The only thing I don't love about this yellow is like that it turns like this green gray. Like I feel like they could have just kept it all like nice yellow and go like a light yellow to a dark yellow. I don't love, I couldn't find another yellow though. So we had to stick with this, even though I think it could be better without that kind of funky gray green. Almost done. I might have to get more thread in my needle though. If I have to do that, I'm turning this off. I don't think I'll be able to finish this with the thread in my needle. It's gonna be close. We love a good game of thread chicken. Who's gonna win? We don't know. I think the thread is gonna win this one. Oof. It's really close. Giving me yolk vibes for sure. Dark to light yellow definitely sounds like a win. Yes, like, who thought that this, like, gray, funky... Yeah, it's like egg, like hard-boiled egg yolks. Oh my gosh, you guys, I think I'm gonna win. Look at this. Woohoo! Good job, yellow thread. Look at us complaining about you. Wahoo! Made it. I love that. Look how much I have left. Perfect amount to tie off. So I'm just gonna cut that and tie these. Yay! Celebrate the wins! Oh gosh, that's funny. Okay. Now we've got, these are done. So this flower is done. We're gonna do some French knots in here on Friday. Tomorrow we'll do this stem with our bouillon knots and our, what did I say? What's today? Today's Wednesday. We have 2 days. Yes, woven wagon wheels and bouillon knots. So get ready for it. Tomorrow's gonna be exciting and maybe a little frustrating. All right, friends, I will see you tomorrow and have a good afternoon. Bye.